Delta College is a special place. You know, it's the community here, the support, it's unmatched. You know, the standard here is pretty high. From Coach Peters, he did a really good job here, and he left a legacy here that was really important. And the standard that he created was a high one. I think Delta really embraced that. You know, the people behind the scenes that put in the work, whether it's the AD, the assistant AD, the athletic coordinator, the counselors, everybody. They do a really good job, and sometimes that gets lost. You know, they see everybody transferring, but they don't see people behind the scenes that help transfer. You know, that's a big deal, and that's what led me here, is that they do a really good job of that. It helps me focus on baseball. Well, the culture here it embraces the community here. And they embrace being from the 209, and that for me is important because I grew up in Central Valley, and it was it's different. It's different out here, and in a good way. They care what's going on, and that's super important. Over here in Stockton, they care, which is super important. Our guys can feel that when they got here. Success here, for me, it's all about achieving their goals. Winning will happen if we're able to achieve their goals. It's a byproduct, so if we're able to help them, whether it's get better grades, improve their skill level, whatever it is, it's helping them transfer to a four-year university. Obviously they have aspirations of getting drafted, so if we can make that happen, we make that happen, but we want to make sure they get that degree. That's the most important thing for us. And so then success is because that's a 40-year decision, right? When you go to that school, it makes an impact the rest of your life. And I always tell my guys, baseball ends, but the relationships don't. So I want to make sure we have a good team chemistry bond, and I want them to come back and be proud of being a Delta alum. For the supporters, I think Delta's always had really good support, and I just want them to understand that we're still trying to strive toward that standard. We want to bring a state championship back to Delta. We want to win the conference. We want to make everybody proud that Delta really does represent, the community and how we, fight for perfection. Whether we're going to be perfect or not, we'll see. But it's the journey that makes it beautiful. I always tell my guys, it's all about the process. And don't be so outcome oriented. Enjoy the process, and that's where true growth happens. So I'm just hoping supporters come on out and see us having fun. But overall, just keep on coming out, and just have some fun.